Welcome to Deep Thought. Know yourself. Know yourself. That's very important. Now, know thyself was something that was attributed to ancient Kemet, otherwise known in Western culture as ancient Egypt. And it was about really knowing yourself. And I mean, there's a deeper spiritual thing with that, especially in the Kemetic tradition, spiritual tradition, which there are groups of people that practice it now. And it was about just knowing who you were truly. Now, as far it usually pertained to knowing yourself on a spiritual level, knowing that you were a part of God. That's their tradition, their faith. Okay, that's great. Knowing who you truly were, who you were with your inner self, not the body you were inhabiting. And that's one tradition. Some people agree with it, some people don't. But if we're going to talk about knowing yourself in the modern era, and not even getting into the spiritual side, even though that plays a part, because knowing yourself is also knowing how you relate to the supreme power or don't relate to the supreme power. But it's all about knowing yourself, knowing your world. Now, I talked about that on Tuesday. Knowing yourself, knowing what you're about. How many people really know who they are? Not who they think they are, but know who they are. Knowing what you're capable of and not capable of. I don't think a lot of people do, because even though I talked about mastering your world, you have a choice what goes in and out. Most people are guided by outside forces. They don't know who they are. They know who other people tell them they are, but they don't know who they are. And I'm talking about just on a basic level. We ain't even getting into the spiritual, metaphysical side of it, but just on a basic level. Most people don't know themselves. That's why you have millions, maybe perhaps even billions of people in jobs that they don't like, or marrying people they otherwise wouldn't really deal with. But, they heard someone say, well, you two belong together, or you should. That's one of the reasons why I don't like the word should. I avoid using it with other people, and I really dislike when people use it with me, because I know what I'm capable of. And that's been a big part of my success in life. It was when I didn't know myself that I didn't do as well. Even after periods of success, when I didn't truly know myself. But knowing yourself is just knowing your world, knowing who you are, knowing what you're capable of, knowing what you could do. Now, notice I didn't say having faith in what you can do and thinking you can do something, knowing you can do something, And a lot of people use the term red pill from the Matrix, red pill, blue pill, and everything. But there was a lot in that particular movie that was there to learn. Neo was told not think he can do something, but know he can do it. Like, knowing yourself is knowing your skills. It's knowing what you can put up with. It's knowing what you can't put up with. It's knowing what you're capable of. It's knowing who you are. As to the greatest extent possible. To the extent possible. But see, a lot of people don't know themselves. A lot of people listen to what's outside of them. They listen to what's outside of them and not the things that they should listen to. That's very key. And that's something that you really don't want to do. You want to know who you are. Everybody needs to sit back and say, well, what am I really good at? What are my skills? What can I do? You need to know, okay, I'm good at this. Okay, I can do this. And just to be clear, remember I said something in the last show about why some people will break you down. Now, I mean, many of us have said, oh yeah, I know I can do that. And then somebody who quite frankly don't know us will say, oh, you can't do that, or this person lying or something. And, and the challenge I give, because, being in a public place, I've had some people try to say that to me, and I challenge them. I say, well, do you have proof I can't do this? And of course, they never can answer. They ain't expect to even be challenged on it. But if I say I can do something, it's because I know I can do it. If I don't know I can do it, I'll say, well, I can try it. I've never done that before. I don't have experience with that. But because I know, and it's not out of conceit. If you know you can do something, you can know you can do something. That's the best way to get experience. You can do this type of work. You can make this thing happen. You can do videos like this. You can do a certain type of business. This is how you think. This is how you react to certain outside stimuli. This is what you're going to do. If certain things happen, you're going to get angry. If certain things happen, you're going to get happy. You need to know yourself as best as possible, and knowing yourself needs to be outside of what certain forces in society want you to think. Let me say that again. It needs to be outside of. You need to know, okay, not who this person over here who really don't know me think. Not what this teacher thinks she's observed or he's observed, but at the end of the day, he don't know what I'm capable of. That's the key. That's the key. That's what you want to do. You want to work to know yourself. Earlier this week, I talked about mastering your world. In mastering your world, you know your world. Let me say it again. In mastering your world, you know your world. You're the master of it. If you master something, that means you know it. You don't have faith in it. You don't think you can do it. You know it. You know you can talk about this. If you given this opportunity, this is what would happen. And yes, there will be some people who will try to break you down. That's because they don't know themselves. And instead of focusing on you, they need to be working on mastering their own world and knowing themselves. All of this is very important. And that was just the surface level. Like I said, in the Kemetic tradition, other traditions around the world, knowing yourself is the key. Knowing who you really are. And that's the power right there. That's the power. Because knowing is stronger than faith. Faith, you have the faith. Faith is believing in something unseen. But you don't know if it will work. You don't know if it will happen. When you know something, that's power. I want y'all to really think on that, okay? And I'll get back with y'all next week. Peace and blessings.